Darren Hughes was already an experienced GRDC hand when he applied for the Western Region position. He was a regional panel member when the newly created role was advertised, but his contact with GRDC goes back much further, to his student days.
My PhD supervisor was a panel member and deputy panel chair at one stage, and we used to have some great philosophizing talks about R&D and where it's going within the grains industry. When the opportunity came up to apply for the panel position, I thought it was a great opportunity to actually get actively participated in the leadership and management of the grains industry research and development area.
Associating with panel members and getting first-hand experience with the R&D that GRDC was supporting whet Darren's appetite. The Regional Grower Services Manager role was the opportunity to do it all on a full-time basis.
I wanted to get more involved in the R&D management, more involved in the strategic setting of research and development, particularly here in the West. It's where I grew up, it's where I've got a great affiliation for the countryside, and it's where I've got family that farm.
His family connection with the grains industry and his early career working as a research agronomist and then as an R&D manager with a fertiliser group reinforced his view on the importance of research application.
The clear gap that I am seeing, particularly in the regions, is around the D&E sectors of the RD&E component. We need to get much greater adoption of research on farm. We've got a classic gap in terms of uptake of some of the basic principles of farming that would lift productivity and profitability of many growers.
Darren Hughes and his counterparts in the southern and northern regions will also manage GRDC's regional cropping solutions networks.
The RCSNs meet twice a year. It's a great opportunity for myself to review current projects which are going on, review some of the latest research and give updates at the RCSN projects and drive forward.
On the other side of the country, here in the New South Wales northwest slopes and plains, the small farming town of Boggabri is the base for GRDC's new Northern Regional Grower Services Manager. Sharon OKeefe comes from 7 generations of farmers from New South Wales' Golden Triangle in the north of the state.
Hi, it's Sharon from the GRDC.
As a 15-year-old, Sharon made up her mind that agriculture was also going to be her life. And when her studies were over, she started a career as an agronomist.
Any agronomist is very farmer focused. If it doesn't give outputs and outcomes on the ground, then there's not a lot of point to it. So I guess that's the direction I'm coming into the GRDC from. Having worked throughout northern New South Wales and much of Queensland, Sharon's established a vast network of contacts. Groundwork that she believes will come in handy in her new role with GRDC. I've got a fairly good coverage on the agronomy teams between Queensland and New South Wales for most of the major companies and a lot of the private agros. I guess I've been around the traps and I grew up in it, so yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be able to be that bridge between Canberra and what's actually happening out in the different regions.
Research and trial work have been a significant part of Sharon's past, but it's the extension, the actual implementation of practice change on farm that means most.
I came from a fairly heavy extension background. I did do a thesis, so I've done research over the years and I've certainly been involved with trial work. I had a lot to do with Landmark's trial agronomy team. So I enjoy the trial work, but I really like the extension because in my mind, until you get a practice change from a farmer and they're doing something different that's getting a result, then it doesn't matter how much research is done.
There's one other member of this new trio to introduce to you, and his patch is the southern region. The third of GRDC's new Regional Grower Services Managers is Andrew Rice, and to meet him we're going to Parkes. The southern region covers the bottom half of New South Wales, as well as Victoria and Tasmania, and of course the grain growing areas of South Australia. It's pretty big territory. Andrew Rice was born and raised in Parkes, growing up on a mixed farm. In partnership with his 2 brothers, the farm is still operated as a grain and livestock business.
We act like a board of directors. We've got some clear roles and responsibilities there. Richard, the youngest of the 3 brothers, he's the farm manager, he's the hands-on, he's got the day-to-day responsibilities around the operation of the business. Jeffrey, stock and station agency background, quite obviously he's going to have a keen interest in where we are with strategic decisions around livestock marketing. my background in farm management consulting, I'm the obvious choice for being the number cruncher. So it ends up being a good mix of three individuals, three brothers, but each using the sort of skills that they bring to the business.
Those clear lines of responsibility in the partnership have made it possible for Andrew to hold down a successful full-time off-farm career in farm consulting.
Managing an off-farm job while maintaining a close interest in our family farm has been, it's not something new, it's something that I've done over the last 19 years. And I think in the end it's what makes me me, gives me the sort of depth of knowledge that I believe in the end will be quite crucial for me to delivering my responsibilities with GRDC.
Like Darren Hughes in the West, Andrew Rice has been a regional panel member, serving 2 terms on the Southern panel. He's also chaired GRDC's South Eastern Research Advisory Committee, and like Sharon OKeefe in the North, he believes their role is to make a real difference.
Keeping it real, I think, is something that GRDC is very conscious of. It's something that was a real driving force behind why 3 regional managers, and it was about trying to get GRDC's businesses, the business that they operate on behalf of industry, back closer to the industry itself and most particularly growers. So a keen, close grower connection is something very much that I look forward to bringing to this role.